For most of us drummers, over 95% of our stage and studio time is going to be done with these plain old wooden sticks. They're awesome. We use them all day, every day. But every once in a while, maybe you're playing a small club or a coffee shop, or maybe you're playing in a country band. Maybe even it's a louder country band, but you need to do one of those old school train beats. You might choose some implements. These are all going to have a different sound and texture and give you different strengths and weaknesses for whatever it is that you're going to want to play. So we're going to take you through each of these types of implements and see where they can be best used and how to choose which one might be appropriate for the situation that you're in. So the first implements that we're going to take a look at here are these hot rods from Vic Firth. You can see it's just like little wooden sticks, little wooden dowels. Banded together, there's a little plastic band that kind of holds them together in a bunch. And these are going to give you the closest thing to the sound and volume of a standard drumstick. They're a little bit softer, and they definitely have some of that multiple small pieces of wood hitting the drum rather than one solid piece of wood. So let's give a listen to like a standard country train beat with these Vic Firth hot rods. So as you can see there, still a considerable amount of attack, still sounds pretty solid, but one thing that you may have noticed is when I went around and did that last fill on the end and I hit this rack tom a couple of times, it sounded a little bit on the weaker side, even though it was still not all that much quieter than the standard sticks. So that's something to keep in mind if you're doing a country gig where you got to do a train beat and you're going to be primarily on the snare drum just keeping that train beat going, and you're with a loud band with electric guitar amps and stuff and not the tiniest room, those can really be a great option just to have the texture difference and a slight volume difference. If you want to take it down a notch, you can look at these Vader whips. Now these also came with a little plastic band to bunch the little dowels together, but it was a band you could slide up or down and you could actually pull it all the way off. So I pulled it all the way off just to give these the maximum difference between them and the hot rods. And let's see how they sound. Now you can definitely tell that the sound of these is softer, and they absolutely have that sort of many small pieces hitting the drums rather than one big solid piece. Now to my ears, these actually sound a little bit better on the toms. So maybe this would be your choice if you're doing your regular full band set but in a coffee shop environment or a very small club where you need to keep the volume way down, or if you're just kind of dinner background music, but you need to be playing full grooves on the kit. Or if you're doing that country train beat and you just need to be a little bit more in the background. For example, I use these in 8-Track Highway when we cover the song Amy. The amazing and awesome drum brushes. Now these are extraordinarily versatile. You have all the cool traditional jazz drum brush techniques that you can learn, which I'm not all that good at, so I'm not going to demonstrate it for you here. This is my channel and I'm supposed to look mostly good on it, okay? But we will compare apples to apples, as you know I like to do, and we're gonna try the train beat with these brushes and see how that sounds. The brushes definitely give you the softest touch. Even though they can rock out a little bit, they still got some spank to them when you're playing that train like that, right, on the accents. And they do sound pretty cool on the toms, and I think they sound great on especially this 20-inch crash cymbal. yeah. That's awesome. So before I got the Vader whips, I was actually using these to play Amy. And if we were in a small club where we really needed to watch our volumes, I would still pull these out of the bag to play that song. So that's a quick tour of some of the most common implements that you might use to play drums. If you have any favorites between the hot rods or the whips or brushes or any other implements that you use, maybe you use some mallets for some big cymbal rolls, leave a comment and let me know which you like to pull out most at gigs, at recording sessions, anytime. If you don't have any experience with some of these implements, you should definitely go out to your nearest big box music store or drum store if you have one, or even go online to one of the shops online and pick you up a few different things that you can try out. Try them out in your own practice time, in rehearsal with your band, maybe pull them out on a gig sometime, and figure out where the strengths and weaknesses lie in your mind for each of the implements, and be able to choose which to use in every situation. Because part of what makes you as a drummer is your style and your musical sensibility. And the implements that we choose to hit the drums, sticks or hot rods or whips or brushes, is part of what informs that style. So people will look for you to make those kinds of decisions, and you can educate yourself pretty cheaply and pretty easily on what your ear thinks is best in every situation. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave that comment about your favorite drumming implements.